Hello, hello. This is Kim Wade. Welcome back. I'm so thrilled that you opened up this Yoga for Inner Work series. So, first, let's talk about what is inner work, right? What is inner work? Inner work is personal development for our soul. For our soul, right? It's not just personal development where we're trying to build up our career or personal development, how we're trying to improve our relationships or sort of look and see what we're doing with our diet and our fitness. Inner work is personal development for the soul, right? And as I said in the first video, the whole idea of yoga is to lift the veil of suffering. Suffering is caused by not knowing the truth of who we are. So, as I said in the first video, I talked about some of the reasons why people don't go onto the yoga path. They feel like they're not ready for it. They feel like it's a cult. They feel like they have to, get something different in their lives before they can sort of move towards that path. They're looking at the differences of why it doesn't work rather than why it does work. Well, who cares about that? Well, think about it. If you are holding yourself back from living something, walking the path of yoga, or opening your heart to a relationship, or challenging yourself to get a job that you love, if you're holding yourself back from that, you are holding yourself back from living the life that you are meant to live, or that you are like the acorn in the tree, or the seed inside of you, the acorn that becomes the oak tree. You're hiding that true self that's supposed to be blossoming from a yoga perspective. So you're causing yourself to hide your light, to hide your dharma, your ability to move in your life the way that you really are meant to and want to in a deeper way. So we hold ourselves back because our hamstrings aren't open. We have rigidity in our physical body. We have rigidity in our mental body. And that is holding us more and more rigid, and we're missing more and more of our life. Okay. So yoga, as I mentioned, is about recovering or uncovering the truth of who you are. And I always like to say in my yoga classes, yoga is just a mirror. That's it. It's just a mirror of who you are. That yoga mat tells you how you breathe when you're challenged, how you think about yourself and others, how you show up and what you're wearing, and how you, whether you brush your teeth or not, where your shoulders hurt, where your hips hurt. It shows you the truth of who you are. But the thing is it's not the truth you're showing to the teacher, right? This is inner work. This is inner work. So you're showing up with the truth of who you are to yourself. It's such a beautiful time to come spend time with yourself. And I'm going to get into it in later videos by a little bit of how that works in the body and in these classes and in the mind and your meditations, or even in your journaling, or even in your relationships. But I always like to think again, the yoga mat is a mirror. There we are. Hello out there, is a mirror of who you are. Okay. So we're going to begin today by just talking about the basics. I'm going to review my notes. How does yoga work? Okay. How does yoga work? So, in terms of yoga working, right, you could look up the Bhagavad Gita and the Yoga Sutras by Patanjali. Those are sort of the texts of how all this started thousands of years ago. And you could look that up and get some research. As I said in the first video, this is about you turning on your own wise teacher and following those things that are interesting to you and going off. I'm going to just give you a very general overview, make it simple, right? Make it simple for you to understand. And then I'm hoping that you're going to go off and do your own thing. Okay. So there's 5 different what we call koshas. Koshas are veils and sheaths. Okay. The first one you're probably very familiar with, which is this big, can you see that? I hope you can see that. This big circle. I'm going to do it a couple of times. Shh. Make it a little darker for you. Yes, this is your physical body, right? This is your physical body. And this body is your bones, your tissues, your organs, right? This is your physical mass, Ana Maya Kosha. It's fed by what? Your food. So it's called food body. The second kosha is sort of inside of it. It's a little bit more subtle, It is known as your breathing body, right? Your life, your energy, your ways that you're traveling, your circulatory system. It's the movement inside of this physical body. So if I didn't have this kosha, I would just be a physical body, not alive. This breathing body, pranamaya kosha, is what animates this bag of bones of mine into the me, into this animated object. Okay, so this is your breath. I think I'm going to drag you a little closer so that you can see. Field trip. Oh, sorry about that little jiggle. Okay, so there's our breath. Going a little bit deeper now into this, we move into this inner circle, and that is our mind body. Or in Sanskrit, it's the manomaya kosha, the manomaya kosha. This is the way you perceive the world. This is the emotions, the way you were raised. This is your intellect, your logic, the part of you that's sort of reasoning out and talking and speaking and communicating and all of that. That's the smarts, right? Your intellect, your IQ, your emotions, your the way you're perceiving the world. And in the later videos, I'm going to talk a little bit more about all of these. So don't worry, I'm just giving you an overview. So the manomaya kosha, you see how they're going in, right? They're going in, big physical body, and then we're moving into that breathing body, that electrical body. Then we move into this manomaya kosha, this intellect body. Now we're coming in a little bit deeper, a little bit more subtle, because these body, breath, and mind, right? This is sort of, we all kind of live from here. The animals live from here, right? The dogs, the cats, the tigers, the lions. Going a little bit more subtle, though, inside of this is known as what is the knowledge or intuition or wisdom body. Wisdom body. When we talk about inner work or transformation or personal development, this is the part of us that's the most sort of molding, right? These other things kind of, we are where we are, right? They all influence one another. As I said in the first video, if you're healthy and you eat well and all that, but you're angry all the time, it's going to make you out of balance. If you don't sleep, right? If you're not sleeping well, your physical body aches and you're in pain, it's really hard to be content, right? It's challenging. These all affect one another. The wisdom body is this intuition, though, and it is the fourth veil. There's 5 of these. We've got 4 so far. This is the fourth veil that holds you from knowing the truth of who you are. We get into this wisdom body when we start to quiet outside influences, outside opinions, outside in our meditation, where we become one with the moment. We start to hear that inner whispering. I like to think about this part of my body as when I'm dreaming, when I have these dreams and I wake up and I can feel that I was worried, or I can feel that I was scared or joyful. It's a way that the unconscious mind is coming in, sort of helping us sort of figure this stuff out. It is the wisdom body known as the Vijnana Maya Kosha. And then the final kosha, we'll use blue here, inside of all of that is your Anandamaya Kosha. Anandamaya Kosha, which is the oneness. It is the soul. Okay, it is your bliss. So again, physical body, the most gross, the biggest, the most, dense, goes a little bit more subtle. The breathing body, the circulatory system, the movement inside of you. The mind, right? The intellect, the emotions, the way that you're perceiving through your senses, your smell, taste, touch, hearing, and see, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. The wisdom, this inner knowing, this inner wisdom, this bliss, and then coming into the idea of full bliss. So when we think about these different tools that we are doing on a yoga mat or in our self-study or self-reflection, we are cleaning up each of these. And as I've said in another video that maybe you saw or maybe you not, maybe you didn't, in the inner circle, the women's group that I run, we are decluttering on all these different levels because they all come together. Okay. So the koshas is a way of knowing who you are. We are not just one. We are all. It's like opening one doll, and then there's a little smaller doll, and then there's a smaller doll, and there's a smaller doll. And then inside that last fourth sheath, there's a little seed, and that's the truth of who you are. And who is the truth of who you are? We'll talk about that in a later video. I'll see you in the next video. May this work be of deep benefit to you. Much love. Namaste.